How's it going, guys? Time for a slightly longer game. I've got a 30-minute unrated game here against a player rated just over 600 points from Egypt. And they have played the King's Gambit. Great to see. Great to see. I don't know what the hell to do. What am I meant to do? We take the pawn. It's a free pawn. Everything else gets complicated. Okay, and he's played the knight out here. So I know the purpose of this move is to prevent this. All right. And this is going to be fascinating for me because I'm starting to learn the King's Gambit myself. So what's not to like? All right, now d5 is playable. I'm concerned if I play knight to f6 now, he can just push the pawn and embarrass my knight. Also, this knight can come out to here. Also, my bishop could fianchetto there. Lots and lots of options here. I don't want to put my dark squared bishop here. It could also come out to here. That's probably a very natural place for my bishop to go at some point. So let's just develop the knight, I think, now. It doesn't get in the way of anything, doesn't stop this fianchetto idea, it doesn't stop d6 or d5, getting my light squared bishop into the game. Doesn't stop this. So the problem with d6 obviously is it blocks off this bishop. So, okay, he's striking out in the center. Absolutely correct. So what do we do here? Obviously queen out isn't an option, which is good. This is fine for me. I'm happy. Bishop out here is the thought, but then simply c3. It comes with tempo. He builds a pawn chain. I have to retreat. Nothing gained there. What about this? Or even g5. I know g5 is played quite often and should generally be met with h4. So let's try that one out. Let's see what happens there. Okay, good. Now you see if I take, sorry, if I play h6, he takes and I take, I actually drop my rook. So I'm kind of tempted to push on. Yeah, I'm tempted to push on. I could also play f6 and then replace that pawn with the doubled f pawn. That's not a bad idea. That's playable. This does take the f6 square away from a knight. This push on, I mean, when you're playing an unfamiliar opening, you saw it either Caro Khan game the other week where I ended up with my pawns completely behind enemy lines and got utterly into a lot of bad shape. I could play bishop g7 as well. But then he's got two attackers on this pawn actually. Okay, I'm going to play f6. I've talked myself into it. f6 it is. Now he could take, but then knight can't take because I've got queen as a second defender. My opponent's called Yusuf. CC6002 from Egypt. Or if you're in Egypt, Masr. Masr is the local name. Okay. So how are we feeling now? We know white ain't castling that way. And neither is black. So anyone who wants to castle is going to have to clear out some minor pieces. Now, this is a pawn move. Is it an unnecessary pawn move? Is it a good pawn move? So I don't have here, obviously, because knight guards. I don't have here because knight and queen. So that's out, out. This is horrible. This is okay. So this is my only thought right now, really. But then he can kick me very easily. And then where am I going to end up? Or do I have to come here and kind of back round somehow? I don't know. Well, I think my opponent's playing perfectly well, particularly rated 609. It's over 1,000 points lower rated than me. So I would expect him to know the rudiments of his own opening, because a lot of people like to do that. It doesn't matter what rating you are, there's nothing to prevent you from learning the basics of an opening. Oh yeah, well spotted, son. Okay. Now, I'd be tempted to want to take here, but if I take here, he's got queen takes, and that defends the knight. Look at him, look what he's done. You bugger. That was the problem with that move. I'd already said, hadn't I? The queen is the defender of that. So he couldn't take a second time, and then I've gone ahead and I've done this. Stupido, stupido, stupido. What are you doing? Okay, so we have a knight here. We have a pawn under attack. So knight g6 looks kind of weird, but interesting. He can't come here, he can't come here, he gets taken. He's now under attack by my queen. My knight is also defending this from the bishop. And do you know what? This game could inform my own King's Gambit training. That's the beauty of it. I love how wide open these kings are in a way. Okay, now I think you've just dropped your knight. I think you've just dropped your knight with a threat of takes on there as well. And that's really unfortunate if that is the case. Now, is my opponent just punking me? Has he got some weird ass trap? Can't see one. Queen takes there. Nope. Nope, I don't see it. Bishop can't take, it's defended twice. The threat needs to take here. I'm actually up a piece. Got two attackers on this pawn on e5. That's a shame really, because my opponent was really getting stuck into me there. I also have a nice check here, can't be blocked. Will force the king to move. There, and the king has to go here or here. King here, pawn. So queen here, pawn, king here, pawn forward, pawn takes. Knight there. Oh, not sure. No, not sure about that at all. Because this comes with check, and then that pawn's undefended. I can capture it with the bishop with development, right? Now he's got two choices. He either moves, which is not great, or he blocks with the bishop or queen. This bishop can't really block there, so that's out of the question. Okay, he's blocking with the queen, and this is forcing. Now, if I take, he'll recapture with the bishop, and he doesn't lose castling rights. So the other option is allow him to take, in which case I can recapture with the knight, but also I can take the pawn here on d6, and with the option of recapturing with the bishop, putting pressure on there. I like that. I can't see anything wrong with it. I'm up a piece and a pawn. I'm up a piece and two pawns at this point in time. Bizarrely. And I didn't deserve to be. But this will be an interesting one to analyse after the fact. So what did he just miss there? He literally, this was a discovered attack and he didn't see it, right? Discovered attack when the knight moved, okay? And this is what you have to do. Every time something happens, your opponent plays a move, okay? So your opponent plays this, your opponent plays this, your opponent plays this, right? Now, you have to say everything that changed. Okay, the knight is no longer now looking at these squares, right? The knight has also moved from a dark square to a light square, and knights change colour every time they move. Also, the queen is now attacking this. Is it defended? No, it isn't. Okay, that gives us a problem that we have to solve. Are we going to defend the knight? Are we going to move the knight out of trouble? Okay, but anyway, he's decided to trade queens. Now we have an important choice. Bishop takes or knight takes. This knight is kind of awkward. It is defending this pawn. If bishop takes, we've got two defenders on that pawn. If knight takes, we don't have any. So I'm already leaning towards bishop takes. I'm just going to take with the bishop. Right, let's review pawns. I have a 4-on-1 on the queen side. I have a 2-on-1. Oh no! Well, let's go again. Don't resign. Don't resign. Let's do it. Oh no! But anyway, look, looks like he doesn't want to. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to look at the review, and I'm going to see what did I do wrong, because I need to look out for that. And that was me as a 1600 player. Okay, so white had an advantage, and that looks like a mistake. Yes, I made a mistake. Okay, cool. Right, so the King's Gambit. Wonderful. Takes his book, best. Yes, I thought so. Occupy the centre. G5 is an inaccuracy. What I should have done is knight here. White is still slightly better. So with G5, the line goes push, push, takes, takes. Okay, it went H4 immediately. Right now, maybe I'm a bit stuck in this. So in fact, the immediate D5 was better. And that was my mistake. It says you should have played G4. G4. So, let me pull up my King's Gambit repertoire. King's Gambit declined. No, this was King's Gambit. No, it's not in my repertoire. Okay, there we go. It's not in my repertoire because I'm not going to play this move, so I can forget about it really. But it's interesting generally. So what? Let me understand what I did wrong. Look at this. King's Gambit accepted. I've played it 99 times with a 40% win rate. Goes to show. Okay. So that was inaccurate. I should have played knight f6. Knight f6 attacking this pawn. But if knight f6, he pushes, I centralize. Yes, yes, we've seen this. Okay. That is, you can see that's a nicer position for black than the mess I created, yeah. Okay, good stuff. Well, should we see if we can find another one while we're here? Let's see if we can find another live game. I'll shut that one down. My connection was closed, was it? Okay. 20 minute? 20 minute rated? Let's refresh. Okay, what have we got? See what's coming up on the old spinner, the old board. 5-minute blitz. Let's do a 5-minute blitz, unrated. Don't matter. All good fun. Okay, and we are playing the King's Gambit. And if takes, we're playing bishop out here. Right, now I haven't really studied this yet, I haven't really learnt it, but I'm going to enjoy it. Okay, so I think, you know, very often you get that queen out there with check, forcing the king to move. This looks premature to me, so I'm going to push d4, right? Occupying the center. This is our principle. And now actually queen h4 check isn't on because he's blocked it with his own pawn. Okay, this is kind of quiet. Queen h5. I'm threatening mate in 1. He can bring his knight there to defend it. Knight is defended. Just got a feeling that I should develop my minor pieces. Some little voice in the back of my mind is saying, develop your minor pieces. Now, he no longer has h6. So, and I no longer have queen h5 check either. Queen h5 either. However, he's also just blocked the defense of this, which is very similar to what we saw in the last game. So if I take, this knight moves, queen is attacking my knight, but again I can take this pawn, so what's not to like? Let's do it. I ought to move a little bit quicker in this game, seeing it is a 5-minute bullet. Okay, let's retreat. Now I've got my pawn back, and this guy hangs. Because that's one of the issues with this, right? You remove that g-pawn any which way, including h4, this just hangs, okay? I'll grab the pawn, queen defends this, it's fine. Knight attacks bishop, g3. If he captures, I take towards the center, strong pawn center. Okay, that's okay. First thought is this. It is actually defended as well, so I could even just play that. Oh, if I do this... Okay, if I put my knight here, he could take this pawn, because knight is no longer defending because it's pinned. All right. Let's... Now the queen is actually the only defender of this and the only defender of that. So what I'm going to do... I'm going to harass the bishop. There's actually two bishops in line, both undefended. Okay, now he has this. That's okay. I'm going to come here. Or am I? Because he's got that then. Okay, I'm going to come here. Or here. Here. That'll do. I'm attacking the knight. I'm defending that pawn there. The knight's not really attacked, but I'm also attacking the bishop. So what's he going to do now? He's got to move his bishop here, really, or else his knight simply falls. Right, that now drops two minor pieces for a rook. Okay, just checking he hasn't got rook here, because that would win a rook. But my queen is currently guarding that square. So all I need to do now is castle. I'm slightly in front. I'm also attacking his rook. Can you see how the importance of just talk to yourself constantly, like a nutter? Okay. Now I can't get queen there with check either. That's annoying. Right, so castles. Now I've got rook and queen in line. This is an idea. This is also something I need to be bearing in mind. This... and he has to push a pawn. Does that help us? I push this. He can't take. If I push this, is he just going to castle? I'm inclined to look at that. Then he pushes a pawn. It doesn't really benefit me much. Okay, let's push pawns in the middle. If he's got any sense, he should just castle immediately, I think. But then I'm going to bust on through. Defended twice, defended once. Attacked. I just need to break open his king. Let's trade off. Give him... Okay. Now this should be good for me now. I have two minors. I have a bishop and a knight for a rook, which ought to give me better control over the board. I have a check there. If his rook should ever go to any of these squares, all right. That walks into another fork though, and that's kind of losing. So he's actually going to lose his rook now outright. Yeah. Unfortunate there, unfortunate. Okay, there we go. Just a bit of weekend morning fun. Yeah, my opponent in the first game was unfortunate because he played pretty solid in the start. But I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying getting this a bit of a feeling going for a new opening with the King's Gambit. So all good fun. Okay, thanks everyone for watching. See you all soon.